Hi everyone! Salamat sa inyong patuloy na pagsubaybay dito sa ating ginagawang discussions about the statics of rigid bodies. In today's discussion, we shall be solving a problem about analysis of structure using method of members. And I decided to select this problem to help you understand more the application of the concept. Kasi itong problem na ito, ang nakikita kong laging iniiwasan ng mga estudyante kapag sila ay nagsosolve ng problem. At nakita ko ang dahilan. Yung bang kinatatakutan nila yung drawing or illustration, and they are afraid that they might not be able to solve because of the illustration that they are working with. Guys, here is the problem. Find the gripping force in the vice grip pliers by the two 75 pounds applied as shown in the figure. So, ito yung sinasabi kong problem na kalimitan ay kung tatanungin mo mga estudyante, siya munang iiwasan nila kasi unang-una ay hindi sila familiar about the figure and how the figure or the device work. So, ang unang-unang kinakailangan maintindihan natin, hindi naman yung figure ang ating pinag-uusapan dito, kundi kung papaano yung member nagsusuporta sa bawat isa. How a particular member of structure acts upon the other. Kaya, sa totoo lang, kapag may mga figure tayong ganito, hindi naman importante yung maganda mo ma-drawing yung figure. Ang mahalaga ay ma-define mo kung asan ba yung force, saan ba siya nag-a-act, ano ang location ng force sa isang member, and how are they interacting with the other member. Kaya sa pamamagitan nitong problem na ito ay pakikita ko sa inyo kung paano mapapadali ang mag-solve ng problem. Ang susi kasi diyan ay kinakailangang i-redraw natin yung illustration, and from our illustration, we shall be locating or establishing the distances between the force acting on each member that we are going to isolate. So, ipakita natin, kunwari ay i-drawing natin itong figure na ito, at ito yung kinalabasan ng illustration, So, ang importante dito ay maipakita natin yung mga forces. So, I will show one by one all the forces and the points where the forces shall be acting. So, here are the forces acting. We have 75 dito. Meron din ditong 75. Itong point na ito is point A. Ito ay point B. Ito naman yung point C. At ito naman yung point D. So, ang importante makita natin yung mga distances mula dito sa 75 hanggang sa A, yung vertical and horizontal distance, at lahat ng points mula doon sa structure. So, ipakita natin. So, we have here, nakalimutan ko, meron pa rin pala ditong yung bola na ginigrip ng vice grip. So, importante rin ito kasi yung distance ng kung saan yung force mag-act dito ay mahalaga rin. Okay? Ipakita natin Itong distance na ito ay 0.5 in the problem. This distance ay 5 feet in the problem. Well, this one is 1.5. So we also have here the distance, which is 4. We also have here the distance, which is 1.5. Then we also have to consider the vertical distance between them. From A to D, wala siya namang, ito pa pala, ito pang point na ito, which is 1.75. Then we also establish a vertical distance between those points. So, from A to D, wala siya kasi they are on the same level, From B to B, pakita natin siya at 1.5. There is another point here, so we have to show the distance between B and C, the vertical distance. So you have 0.25. Similarly, between A and B, so we have to show how they are, okay, the distance between them, ano? Itong distance nito. So kung meron tayo ditong 6.5 from A to this point, at ito naman ay 3.25, nasa makatwid from B to this point ay ilan siya? Dapat siya ay 3.25. And the distance, vertical distance from A to B is the same as this distance, 1.25. Ayun, 1.25, di ba? Ano pa? So, between this one, between D and C, so we don't have yet the horizontal distance established between them, ano? Okay, pwede natin ipakita siya. That is 0.25. Pagkatapos na maipakita natin yung mga kay location ng joints or ng pins na kung saan the forces shall be acting, pwede natin siyang i-isolate one by one. We try to isolate each member from each other. So let us do it, ano? So, isolating each member as a free body diagram. So, pakita natin siyang isa-isa, ihiwalay natin siya by imagining that the pins are removed so that we can easily separate or analyze or isolate each of the members. Ipakita natin dito, ayan na, inihiwalay na natin isa-isa. So, kailangan na kapag inihiwalay natin siya, in-isolate natin siya, na andun pa rin yung mga horizontal distances at vertical distances between the 2 points. So, kita natin dyan, may mga vertical distance dito, horizontal distance, at para maintindihan natin yung direction ng force na mag-a-act sa kanya kapag naihiwalay natin siya. Now, after we have isolated each member as free body diagram, now we analyze ano bang klaseng member siya. Siya ba ay 2 force member o siya ba ay 3 force member? Again, makikilala natin kung siya ay 3 force member kapag higit sa dalawa ang forces na mag-a-act doon sa member na yon. Kaya nga itong upper part ng vice grip, itong member AD, since there are more forces. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And we also have remove the ball here. So we have to show that there is a force acting on the upper part of the vice grip and we don't know the magnitude. As a matter of fact, yun ang pinapahanap sa atin. So we simply label it with an unknown value of P. And this P is also the same force as acting here, kasi yung konsepto ng action-reaction forces, they are opposite in direction and equal in magnitude. Kaya kung may force na nag-act dito, somewhere here, yung bola na tinanggal natin dito sa babang bahagi ng vice grip, dapat meron ding force and the direction of the force is downward. And the magnitude is also equal to P. Now, isa-isahin na natin, balikan ko lang itong upper part ng structure. Sinabi ko nga, this upper part of the structure ay 3 force member kasi meron tayong dalawang force dito at asahan natin that these joints na tinanggal natin mula sa iba ay masasubject din sa forces. Therefore, this will not be subjected to more than 2 forces and they are held in equilibrium. Therefore, this will be a 3 force member. Ganon din itong part na ito, So, I also have here 3 points, and they are supposed to be in equilibrium. Though we don't know yet the magnitude of the force here, therefore, it will be a 3 force member. Ganon din itong lower part na member BC, So, there are forces here. Tinanggal natin yung pin dito, therefore, we expect that there will be forces acting here and another force acting here, and therefore, this will be a 3 force member. And then you have here the member AB, yung support na matatagpuan dito at saka dito, di ba? And the member AB is being held in position by 2 forces acting at A and B, di ba? So wala naman tayo nakikitang force na nag-act along this member, and therefore this is a 2 force member. So ano yung dahilan bakit in-identify natin kung siya ba ay 2 force member or 3 force member? Kasi kung meron tayong 2 force member, alam naman natin na ang force ay mag-a-act along the member itself. Kaya kung makikita natin, yung force na mag-a-act dito is along this AB. Kaya madali natin siyang ma-define, particularly the direction. Di ba? Ngayon, pagkatapos natin ma-define kung anong type ng member meron tayo, then ipakita natin yung mga action ng bawat isa sa bawat isa. Di ba? So, tingnan natin, itong point A na ito, ay siya ding point A na dito, no? Kumbaga, kung magpakita tayo ng force dito, then ipinapakita natin yung force na ni-exert nitong AB papunta doon sa AD. And at the same time, if we show force here, then the force that will be showing here is the force that this upper part of the vice grip is exerting upon this member. Kaya, kung meron tayong force na nag-act dito, okay, na nag-act dito, and that is vertical, sa makatwid, on this part, meron din dapat na vertical force na nag-act, and the direction must be opposite the direction that is acting on the member AD. So, ipakita natin, but actually, I do not know yet the direction, ano? So, we don't know yet how they are directed, but we can assume. And the actual or the correct direction will just be corrected or checked later on by the resulting sign of your answer. So, kung may force dito, dapat meron din ditong force at vertical din siya, and the force must be directed opposite this direction. Similarly, kung may force na nag-act dito horizontally, this is the force exerted by this member AB. Therefore, this member AB is also subjected to the same force exerted by this upper part. And the direction is also opposite this one. So, meron tayo ditong kay horizontal and directed to the right. Diba? Ganun din, ano? Kung meron tayong force na nag-act, okay, itong joint na ito ay shedding joint na nag-act doon sa member BC, ano? Kaya, kung may force tayo mag-act sa B neto, so we also have the same force that will be acting here. And these are, kung meron tayong BH dito, meron dapat ditong BH. Kung meron tayo ditong vertical, sa makatwid meron din tayo ditong vertical component. Di ba? Ngayon, balikan ko lang, ano, kasi sinabi ko na itong member AB is a two-force member. Kaya asahan natin, ano, itong horizontal and vertical components ng A at vertical and horizontal component of B shall be directed along this member. Kaya importante na ma-define natin yung sinasabi kong A, ano, at ito yung sinasabi kong B. Kaya importante na ma-define natin dito yung inclination nitong member AB na yon. Kaya nga sabi ko, importante na makita natin yung distances between the points where the forces shall be acting. At dito nga natin makikita yung importance niya kasi siya naman yung mag-define nitong inclination nitong member AB na ito. Kaya ipakita natin itong inclination nito, no? So, yun yung makikita natin. So, we have here okay, 1.25 and 3.25. So, kung simplify natin siya, ang ratio, inclination nito is okay, rising at 5 okay, to 13. Kasi itong 1.25 okay, and 3.25, pag i-divide natin ng 0.25, we'll have a ratio of 5:13. At yung kanyang inclination would have a value of square root of 194. So, yun yung slope nitong inclination nitong AB. And we can expect that from this slope, ma-define natin yung relation ng B, H, B, at BV from this inclination of the member AB such that itong BH natin will be equal to the horizontal, the ratio of this horizontal to the inclination of the slope multiplied by that magnitude of B, and that is equal to 13 over the square root of 194 of B. Ganon din dito ang vertical component na ito. Itong vertical component naman ito is ratio naman itong 5 over 194 of that magnitude of B, and this is equal to, ayun, 5 over 194. At ito rin siya, no? Ito rin itong point nito, itong base naman ay yun din force na yun. Di ba? Now, kagandahan, tingnan natin mabuti, obserbahan natin mabuti. Kung titingnan natin itong member, o lower part ng vice grip, itong member BC, okay, meron tayong tatlong points na kung saan ang forces ay mag-a-act. Meron tayo dito yung point of application ng 75, meron tayong B, at meron tayong C dito. Now, which we have not yet shown the direction and the magnitude of the force, but there must be force acting here. However, if we're going to examine, magiging 5 yung ating unknowns. Meron tayong dalawa dito, at sa dito. Pero ang kagandahan, we already have expressed that the vertical and horizontal ay pareho can be expressed in terms of B. Sa makatwid, ito ay pwedeng i-replace ng single unknown expressed in terms of B. If we are going to isolate member BC as FBD, this lower part of the vice script, okay? So, and we take moment summation about C, okay, and we consider the direction, okay, counterclockwise using the sign convention that we have used before as positive. Then from here, we can solve the value of B. Diba? Now, ipakita natin ano yung moment equation na makikita natin dito. Pag-aralan natin itong BV na ito. Ano yung magiging moment arm niya about C? The moment arm niya will be this 15. And this BV will be rotating about C in the counterclockwise direction. Therefore, that would have a positive sign using our convention that this will be positive. Therefore, this will be equal to BV times 1.5. Whereas, the horizontal component BH, this one, has a moment arm equal to 0.25. And this is to rotate. Okay, cause rotation about C in the clockwise direction. Hence, that would be signed negative. But if we were to use this convention. Therefore, this will be negative BH multiplied by 0.25. And this 75, ba? Itong 75 na ito, will have a moment arm from C equal to the sum of these two. Yung dalawa na ito. Diba? Kaya, and this will be producing a clockwise moment about C. And therefore, it will also be signed negative equal to negative 75 multiplied by the sum of 4 and 1.5, and that is equal to 5.5. And all of this must be equal to 0. So that when we substitute the value of BV, itong BV na ito, di ba? Which is equal to, substitute natin yung part na yan. Okay? Multiply natin ng 1.5. And also we substitute this BH here. So substitute natin yan. So this becomes equal to 13 multiplied by the divided by the square root of 194 multiplied by B times the moment arm of 0.25 minus that of 75 multiplied by 5.5 shall be equal to 0. And you know that we have reduced the equation in terms of the unknown B. And from here, we can already solve for the value of B, which is equal to 1,351.873 pounds. And because we have already computed for B, kapag itong B ibinalik natin dito, di ba? Okay, we multiply it by 5 over the square root of 194, masosolve natin yung vertical component, which is equal to 485.2941 pounds. Ngayon, paano ito natin gagamitin? Kasi kung babalik naman tayo, pupuntahan natin itong member AB na ito. Di ba? Member AB na ito. Makikita natin, we will be summing up forces vertical. Itong AV na ito will be the same as BV. At yung BH na ito will be the same as AH. Sa makatwid, if we have already solved for BV here, then we can also solve for AV, di ba? Sa makatwid yung AB natin will also be the same as 485.2491 pounds. At itong AV na ito is also the same as this one, di ba? So we will be substituting that in that equation. Ipakita natin siya dito. Yan, naipakita natin yan dito. Diba? So, then afterwards, kung pupuntahan natin, balikan natin itong part na ito. Yan. If we're going to consider the member AD, dito na tayo ngayon sa taas. Ito naman tayo sa taas na ito, the upper part of the vice grip. Member AD as FBD. Okay, ano-ano mga meron tayo? Meron tayong horizontal dito, may vertical, at yung forces na nag-a-act dito sa point na ito. But the horizontal force, okay, will pass through the same point D. Diba? Kaya yung horizontal and vertical component natin sa D, plus this one, will all be 0 kapag tayo ay nag-take ng moment about D. At magkakaroon lamang tayo ng equation where the only unknown is our P. Now, if we will be summing up moment about D equal to 0, okay, and assuming that, okay, counterclockwise again as positive, then we can solve for P. What will be our equation? Isa-isayin natin yan, So, tingnan natin itong mga moment equation natin. Unahin natin itong 75 na ito. kanyang moment arm about D will be the sum of the two. Itong dalawa na ito na nagbi-blink, di ba? And that is equal to 5.75. Kaya pag i-multiply natin yan, so we have 75 multiplied by 5.75. What else? This one. Itong part na ito, AV. Na ang kanyang moment arm naman ay itong 5 na ito, di ba? So, and this will be producing a counterclockwise moment about D. And therefore, that would be negative in sense. Therefore, that will be negative AB times 5. And then you have here finally, okay, the value of P and whose moment arm is 1.5. Itong dalawa na ito. And also producing a counterclockwise moment, thus it will be signed as positive using our convention. That is P multiplied by 1.5. And all of these moments must be zero because this is in equilibrium. Now, since we have already computed for the value of AV, which is this one, and if AV will be substituted with the value, okay, what will be our equation? Our equation will be 75 multiplied by 5.75 minus 485.2491 multiplied by 5 plus P multiplied by 1.5 equal to 0. And from here, you can solve for the value of P of, okay, 1,330.147. Hope guys that you are able to follow our discussions for today, and I hope that you are going to continue watching our videos by subscribing to this channel and sharing this to your friends. Once again, thank you very much for watching.